Hey everybody, this is Kyle. Here's another episode in the What Can We Learn From series. Today we have Barbra Streisand, and Barbara was suggested by Max Washington's songs. So again, be like Max and let me know an artist or a song you want me to take a look at in this series. Now Streisand got her start on the stage, singing in musicals and things like that. So when I was thinking of how can I take Streisand and use her in this series, I wasn't sure if it would work for songwriting. Obviously, creativity, I could go there. But she does have a few songwriting credits. I found 5 songwriting credits for Streisand. They're all from the 70s and they're all co-writes. So take that what you like. You know, a lot of times a singer would work with a songwriter, kind of tailor things, especially for the voice, maybe change the range of the melody, something along those lines. Maybe if the performer had something personal to add to the song so then it had a little bit more impact and things. Now, a quick aside, Beyonce is famous for taking people's songs, you know, a songwriter's song, changing a word, changing a note, then all of a sudden she gets co-writing credit, then that means she gets more money and stuff. I don't know if this was the case with Streisand. If you are a big Streisand fan, let me know in the comments if you happen to know how deeply she was involved with these co-writing sessions. The earliest song I could find for Streisand with writing credit is the song By the Way. And the people with writing credits are Barbra Streisand and Rupert Holmes. Unfortunately, I can't include this song because of copyright. Now, I looked up the lyrics and I've been trying to find the chords to the song so I, have an idea of the structure and things like that. And I'm not gonna lie, this song, by the way, is very difficult to find a chord sheet for. On the internet, and anybody that has, played around with guitar or tried to learn guitar in today's world, you find a lot of sites that they will have chords and lyrics, but instead of it being listed so you can just kind of read it, it's like it wants to feed it to you. So it's like, here's a chord. Play this chord again. Play this other chord. And it's difficult for me because I just like looking ahead. Because a lot of times if you read music, part of what you do when you read music is obviously play what you're reading, but then you look ahead so you know what's coming so you don't mess up too bad. So I'm going to give this song a listen, come back and talk about it, and I'll probably be more of a focus on the lyrics unless I can find something a little bit more readable to me with the chords and stuff. Okay, this song, by the way, this is a great example of 70s kind of folk pop. You get a great sense of story. In the 70s, a lot of songwriters come from that tradition of a singer-songwriter. You're telling a story. You totally get that in here. But when you hit play on a song, you get this immediate folky vibe. I mean, you are completely taken back to 1970s America. What you would hear on pop radio and things like that. And I wanted to add a little detail about the beginning of the song. It starts off with a guitar. In a very beautiful, very 70s way, you get an opening line that's very typical, very melodic. And then when it repeats the second phrase, it gets very complicated. It gets very tense. And that does a great job to go along with the story too. So keep that in mind as I talk about the story here. And you have Streisand's voice in this. She starts off with lower notes, lower in pitch, builds up to really bring home and really capitalizing on the whole idea of her being a stage performer. You get the sense of volume through the recording. Yeah, I mean, the volume is kept even in things. But when she belts those high notes, you could imagine being in a theater, a live setting, and the sheer volume of that. Whenever you go to see a singer and they just have that ability to put so much air out with the notes, that just gives you so much feeling. I wish I could do that. I have asthma, so for me singing, I take more of a crooner approach instead of a belter. So I'm calling this folk pop, and here's why. The first couple words of the song are the title. It's not the chorus. When you do things like that, you're coming from a whole different songwriting background and agenda and purpose than when you're writing like rock or pop music or something like that. So you get the words, by the way, and that is a vehicle to help tell the story. It's very conversational, and this tells a very devastatingly broken love story. I said before that it is hard to write a song that is not a love song in some way. And this is an example of a love song. And you have some amazing lyrics in here. Here's my favorite example from the song. Have I told you yet that only recently he moved out on me? Took the towels we stole from some motel in Tennessee. That is such a young couple. We're in love. We're going out of town. We're going to get a room together and, all the stuff that means. We're going to take the towels with us so we have a memento because we're poor, because we don't have money to go somewhere else and get a shirt or some other memento of the occasion. And that little detail reveals so much character. I'm not going to deny that, I can totally relate to being somewhere, a motel, along the side of a road, and, maybe having an extra towel or two when you leave. Hey, judge me. So what can we learn from this song that Streisand co-wrote? I think the sense of telling a story. And often when talking to people about crafting a story. And this works so much for advertising as it does songwriting. Anytime you're trying to get someone's attention, and then more importantly, keep their retention. It's those details that is the difference right there. So the details in the story stick with you. Tell me in the comments if you've ever been in a situation, that motel, maybe acquiring a towel extra along your travels. Let me know if you've ever done something like that, or if you haven't, if it makes sense to you, if you know someone that has. Yeah, I think in today's world, that's probably a dated concept, especially motels and things like that. But I'm curious to see what people say. As always, thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks to my patrons for making these videos possible, and I will see you next time. I wish I could sing like Barbra Streisand, but my voice is like sonic quicksand. And again, throwing us out there for anyone that is still sticking around. If you are interested in songwriting, I keep thinking through having some sort of like Zoom class, Zoom session, something along those lines, where if you wanted to, be in a live setting, or if you couldn't make that live time slot, you could watch it again later. So I keep thinking about creating something to help people that might be interested in writing songs get started. I know there's a lot of information out there like, hey, here's how you do it. But those first few steps, for example, I don't play music. I don't know music. But I like the idea of writing songs that makes me happy. How do I do that? So if you're interested in something like that, my email is on my About tab. So just throwing it out there.